Hello and welcome to Newsfeed, your daily dose of what people are talking about online, from news stories to what's trending. Age 65. Globally, that's the average retirement age. Most people want to be retired, relaxed, and reading on a beach by then. But not America's seasoned political elite. The average age of senators is 65, the oldest in U.S. history. And in the spotlight for next year's presidential showdown, Joe Biden and Donald Trump both on the cusp of their 80s. The real concern, well, not just age, but the cognitive decline that comes with it. And as Laura reports, it's an issue some politicians are finding difficult to hide.
With age often comes wisdom and experience, but it can also bring physical and mental challenges. So, how old is too old to lead? Take Senator Mitch McConnell, for instance, whose recent health concerns raised questions about his political future. Despite speculation, the 81-year-old is determined to complete his term.
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute.
Then there's the late Dianne Feinstein, who was the Senate's oldest member at 90 and still in office when she passed away in late September.
Yeah, just say it. Okay, just. Aye. Thank you.
And former Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, who at 83 has announced her candidacy for another term in Congress. Looking ahead to 2024, we find Joe Biden and Donald Trump both well beyond the typical retirement age as the top candidates for the presidency.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was in the foothills of the Himalayas with
cognitively impaired, in no condition to lead, and is now in charge of dealing with Russia and possible nuclear war. Just think of it. We would be in World War II.
And it's not just them. Congress as a whole is aging. The average age in the Senate recently hit an all-time high at 65. That's the retirement age in many countries. The House of Representatives is relatively younger, but still historically old. Millennials make up only 12% of the 118th Congress, while Gen Z has just one representative in the House. Meanwhile, baby boomers make up almost half of the House.
Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Only if the user turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the...
The need and call for younger minds in Congress are gaining momentum.
And I think it's time for guys like me to get out of the way and have people in the next generation step forward, because they're going to be shaping the world they're going to be living in.
To address this issue, some politicians are advocating for term limits. A recent survey found an astonishing 83% of voters from both sides of the aisle supporting a constitutional amendment to impose these limits. But still, in the wake of the 2024 elections, the question lingers. Should age define political leadership, or is it time for a significant shift in the political landscape?
Artificial intelligence capable of generating text, images, or other media, think ChatGPT, has brought AI into the mainstream. While fears are still abound about the technology taking our jobs, many people have started using AI tools at the workplace. From using ChatGPT to assist you in crafting that email to your boss, to DALL-E creating a work of art. So much so that the Associated Press has added AI guidelines and terms to its influential style guide. AP says while journalists may experiment with ChatGPT, no AI output like scripts and images should be published unless it's the origin of a story. And even then, it should be clearly marked as AI generated. Generative AI hallucinates often. AI hallucination is when it generates incorrect info and presents it as fact. And of course, that can easily lead to a misinformation nightmare. So it's not surprising to see AP classifying content created by AI as unvetted source material, urging caution and skepticism. Although Associated Press is against journalists using AI, The Newswire service doesn't have any issues with contributing to the technology. AP has experimented with AI tools for years, and AP's partner OpenAI has been using its old articles to train ChatGPT. In contrast, many other news outlets are at odds with chatbot makers like OpenAI for scraping their content, and some are already fully embracing the future, publishing articles authored by AI. While journalists now have some AI guidance from the AP style book, there's still no consensus across different newsrooms how to approach AI. So we've discussed the issue with our fellow journalists right here in our Istanbul newsroom.
You can maybe call me a bit of a dinosaur, and I'm sure I probably am, because I don't really think that there's a place for AI in media, in journalism. I would never use a source that I hadn't spoken to directly or confirmed independently, and I certainly wouldn't use a source that's AI generated. There's just too much misinformation out there to trust something like AI, and I would never put my name to a piece of reporting that had been written by AI, because again, it's an individual journalist's reputation that's out there, and you have to stand by it. You can't say 2 years later, oh, I didn't know because the computer wrote it for me. ChatGPT's reputation isn't going down, your reputation as a journalist is, and I just think that that's too risky.
I would love it if some of my work could be done by computers instead. Little things, grammar, spelling, organization of sentences, all of that kind of thing. If AI can take care of that sort of stuff, that frees me up as a script editor to concentrate on editorial issues, to concentrate on the message that we're going to put out there, to concentrate on the audience. And of course, the audience is the most important thing.
Of course, the issue is being factually correct and telling the truth. So while AI may be able to provide a basic template of information for a human journalist, I think that human journalist will then have to do the extra fact-checking. There's a professor of computer science at Princeton University in the United States. He calls one of these AI applications a generator of BS. He says the problem is that it can invent facts, it can even provide fake citations, and it's not particularly good at sticking to the truth because it finds things and can almost invent the truth from those facts that it's examining. That's the biggest danger.
And journalists aren't the only professionals who have expressed concern about AI. Back in March, some of the most powerful and influential people working in tech called for a 6-month pause in developing complex AI. Concerned about the extraordinary pace of AI development, the open letter had more than 30,000 signatories, including the likes of Tesla CEO Elon Musk, Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, as well as engineers from Amazon, DeepMind, Google, Meta, and Microsoft. Organized by the long-termist think tank Future of Life Institute, the letter made stark claims that AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risks to society and humanity. The signatories called on all AI labs to immediately pause for at least 6 months the training of AI systems more powerful than GPT-4. That's the language model that powers ChatGPT. More than 6 months on, and that plea for a pause in advanced AI development has clearly fallen on deaf ears. But the Future of Life Institute says its landmark open letter served its purpose in sounding the alarm about powerful AI systems. One of the think tank's founders, Jan Tallinn, told us why.
The kind of real goal of the letter wasn't to get like immediate pause. It was basically to create this common knowledge that more and more people are worried about the trajectory and kind of sound this alarm of the future risks that might not be in the very distant future anymore. If it were up to me, I would just kind of make a global moratorium on pushing the frontier models, because the current paradigm of large language models, they are building uncontrollable AIs. The way large language model training works is that there is so-called pre-training phase, during which developers do not have much control over what's happening in these large server farms. And once they stop this pre-training, they actually kind of take the AI out and start training it to be kind of like human compatible, to be to be friendly, to be aligned, etc. And usually are not very successful in that. Like as we've seen with more and more interesting behavior, such as we saw with Microsoft Bing. Then in the long run, there is a need for global consensus on regulating this technology. If one country does it, that's not enough. But I do remain optimistic that, first of all, we have done such things before, although in lower stakes situations, such as human cloning. Human cloning is illegal globally, so it's not happening. So we can do it.
From AI, let's talk linguistics. The great thing about language is that it's ever changing. Some may find it a bit annoying each time Gen Z comes up with a new way to refer to something, but it's undeniable that more and more Gen Z lingo is finding its way into our daily vocabulary. And these words are being immortalized in glossaries. One of them is dictionary.com. The scholarly site has updated its lexicon again with over 500 new words. Most of the new additions are words I use daily, and I'm pretty sure you've seen them too. Chatbot, LLM, GPT, yep, we talked about this earlier on in the show. Generative AI has become so ubiquitous, and of course, its factually dubious skill of hallucination. Onto other additions now, like Nepo Baby. These guys can get into any industry. You didn't think a dictionary would be a challenge, did you? And new words to deal with our modern problems. I'm surprised these words weren't recognized earlier. In a world where all we need is just 2 degrees to face a catastrophe, some climate criminals are getting out of responsibility with tactics like greenwashing. It's a big topic for the news and our network. And then there is the rise of populism and also extremism and their practical implications in our day-to-day. You can find someone advocating for fascism on the down low in a random podcast, or the political elite and the big business owners walking hand in hand. Nothing new, of course, just a reminder of crony capitalism. On the better end of politics, inclusivity. CODA stands for Children of Deaf Adults. Maybe you learned this just now or after watching the Oscar-winning movie. Either way, its addition to the dictionary is a nice step towards representation. I promise I'm almost done geeking out over words, but here's another modern-day problem: sleep debt. I can't be the only one who never seems to get enough sleep. And last but not least, unsee. It's amazing to see a meme word actually mean something and stick, like this one. All right, on to what's trending. The next trend is a little bit of a mess, and I mean this quite literally. It's called cluttercore. It refers to home decor. Think maximalist interiors.
My room in the daytime.
It's about excess, creative chaos, mismatched stuff, a more eclectic, cluttered approach. The trend took off during the pandemic, but has seen a resurgence this year. Cluttercore's comeback is pretty fitting. There's been a focus on authenticity online. Facetune selfies aren't really doing it right now. It's time to be real. People and celebrities have been sharing clips of their messy homes. Even decluttering Queen Marie Kondo has admitted that after becoming a mom, tidying up is no longer a priority. It's 2023 and cluttercore celebrates mess.
Meet maximalism's aesthetic cousin, cluttercore. Imagine a mixture of dark academia meets semi-hoarding. It might be a minimalist's worst nightmare, but some say it's just an organized mess. Described as feeling like a warm and cozy antique shop, it's all about proudly displaying your favorite things in a loud, unapologetic way. What do you think about this aesthetic?
I'm sorry, but minimalism is for hot rich people, okay? I'm broke. I need stuff. Having things is who I am.
No flat line, what were you scared about? Baby sat by and felt the wind and I call her a hoarder of quarters, no boundary border.
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.